All right, so before we get started with today's video, I want to talk about my friends from over at Avant Garde. All right, Avant Garde is a place where you can go and really elevate your fragrance experience. All right, so they specialize in niche fragrances, and the world of niche can be a little bit scary, a little bit intimidating. All right, but Avant Garde, they offer sampling, and I highly suggest sampling. All right, so they have some of the top brands of Creeds and Parfums de Marly and Nishanes, just to name a few, but so much more. All right, so use my code DEDRICK20 to save you some money on a sample set, single samples, and of course full bottles if you're ready to make that leap. So Avant Garde, DEDRICK20, save you some money, and tell them I sent you. All right, and they have great customer service, and you'll have a great experience. All right, so let's get into today's video. YouTube, what's going on? YouTube, what is going on? What is happening, man? Of course, it's your guy, one more time, DEDRICKHICKSJR, and we're back with another fragrance video. All right, so I want to talk about two new fragrances that I have added to my collection, courtesy of my friends over at Avant Garde. Okay, so I've talked about Avant Garde quite a bit over the past couple of months, and you know, I've really had some real great experiences with Avant Garde. So I'm here to talk about, you know, truthfully and openly how I feel about these fragrances, and you know, just give my thoughts. And if you're interested in them, you know, sample. All right, that's what I definitely recommend that you do. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. This is one of the most highly anticipated fragrances for me. I'm one of the biggest fans of the line, and I've spent a lot of time with this line throughout the whole year of 2023. All right, so up first today, we're going to be talking about, from the house of Nishane, we're going to be talking about Hacivat X. Hacivat X. All right, now of course I've already opened these bottles. The packaging is pretty standard for Nishane. You see this beautiful, it's going to clash with my studio light a bit, but the Nishane Hacivat X, this is the sleeve. Kind of comes out, and then you kind of have your traditional Nishane kind of book coffin style type of opening. It has the Nishane letter on the inside. So the standard packaging of those who have experienced the full presentation of Nishane, nothing changes. All right, so the bottle style, beautiful bottle style. I'm a fan of the presentation of Nishane. You got that cubed like bottle. This is the 100 ml presentation. You got the snug in place style of a cap that gives a magnetic feel, but I don't think it's magnetic. I'm not really sure, but it gives that feel. All right, so I'm going to spray this on my skin and kind of walk and talk with this one, man. So man, it smells so good. I've experienced Hacivat, the OG, the original, and it is a classic. All right, now there's a lot of conversations of the similarities between that and the father of the DNA, which is Creed Aventus, and it does have some aspects of that DNA. But what Hacivat X provides compared to the original is a lot more fresher vibe, man. And in the opening, man, you get that pineapple that is there, but then you get this other kind of sparkly type of citrus that's accompanying that, and that is the note of lime. There's a note of lime, and I caught the difference right away. So if you've experienced the original, you may catch the difference in the opening. Yeah, it's still there. Like the lime is there, kind of, you know, slow dancing with the pineapple, so to speak. But a beautiful opening, has this masculine feel to it for sure off the rip. The vetiver and everything that is represented in the original is still here, but you get a tad bit of a fresher opening and experience with this fragrance for sure. So some of the full notes in this fragrance, in comparison to the OG to the X version, is up, you know, full notes from these fragrances. Nishane X, top notes: bergamot, pineapple, pink pepper. In the heart, you got lime, jasmine, and orange flower. All right, and in the base, you have patchouli, cedarwood, heart, and vetiver oil from Haiti. All right, so very distinct and specific type of notes in this fragrance for sure. So the X line is a remix of some of the more popular releases of the Nishane house. I believe the original the original Hacivat was released in 2016. So you got to go all the way to 2023, which is a good span, all right, between the two fragrances. But this one is the original Hacivat, but it has an element of more freshness to it. The lime gives a different feel for it in the opening. The performance, I've worn this a couple of times already. The performance is there. It is present. It is unmistakable. I got about, no lie, I got around 9 to 10 hours before I showered, and it was still coming off my chest, because I always spray a personal spray onto my chest. So if you love Hacivat, someone's going to ask me, is it redundant? It probably is. If you own the original, it probably is. I don't know if I'll need a full bottle of the original Hacivat. I was blessed with a decant of Hacivat a while ago, and I've worn it and had a great experience with it for sure. But I don't deem it necessary now to grab the OG when I have Hacivat X. As I'm not saying one is better than the other, but you do get a different experience probably in the opening. Yeah, in the opening, once this thing starts to dry down, once this thing starts to kind of get accustomed or relaxed in its DNA, then you just fully get that Hacivat feel for sure. So this is a good release over at Avant Garde. They have the samples. They have, I believe they have a 60 ml, 50 ml. Then they have the full presentation of 100 ml. So prices may vary. Use my code DEDRICK20. It's in the description. Use the code if you're interested. I don't know if these are on discounters. If you can save you some money, you know, you got to do your homework. But I haven't seen anything on discounters of the X line. I'm sure they will be eventually. But if you're not trying to wait and you're hard pressed, check out Avant Garde for sure. Get your sample or get you a bottle. DEDRICK20, tell them I sent you. Hacivat X by Nishane. This stuff is really good for sure. All right, next up, we're gonna talk about a fragrance line that I've never heard of. I've never experienced it. And guys, my gourmand lovers, listen closely. Today we're gonna be talking about fragrance from the house of State of Mind. We have Spontaneous Generosity. But look at that bottle, Spontaneous Generosity. Very beautiful bottle. Has this kind of semi-snug magnetic cap. Very heavy cap for sure in comparison to the bottle, but it sits right there in place. You got the State of Mind, Spontaneous Generosity on the bottom. This is a full 3-point. There's some kind of, maybe this is their logo or something at the bottom. There she is at the bottom of this thing. So yeah, this is something that I've never experienced before. Well, I've experienced it, haven't given it a full wear, and I'm gonna tell you why. This is a gourmandish, sweeter fragrance for the cooler months. This is a sexier fragrance for sure. So for the cooler months. And here's the presentation: Spontaneous Generosity, State of Mind. Here's the box. The presentation was gorgeous on this thing. You lift up the top here, and it came in another casing. So here's the casing that it came in, and then there's the logo with the woman who's at the bottom of the fragrance. I'm not gonna say this Medusa. Kind of gives a Medusa type of feel, but it's not Medusa. But here it opens up. The fragrance came inside. So a very nice packaging. Definitely give you a niche feel, at least with the packaging. So State of Mind. All right, now, wow, guys. I'm a huge fan of the note of cherry. Fragrances like Lost Cherry from Tom Ford, Guerlain's L'Homme Ideal, EDP. Big fan of cherry. All right, so this is a little bit different. So going to get this on the inside of my arm. One spray. Check out the atomizer. Very nice, semi-pressurized atomizer. But immediately, man, when I spray this, it fills the room. I mean, just a cloud over me for sure, man. And oh, you get this beautiful cherry, like this dark, sweet cherry. It's accompanied by other sweet variances in here, notes in here. You have praline sweetness for a fact that's in here. Spices that are in here as well. This is a unisex fragrance for sure. Very unisex. Different feel in comparison to like Lost Cherry or Guerlain's Ideal EDP. This is something that stands alone. This is a different type of cherry. a sweeter fragrance, gourmandish feel. If you're into like a black cherry, this kind of gives that feeling to it, but it has the sweetness and the subtle spice. It's not super spicy, but the subtle nature of spice that is accompanying that. This stuff I'm a fan of off the rip, really, because I really love cherry and I love what they did with this. Ladies, if you're watching, you could definitely wear this. Definitely wear this. So let's get into some of the notes from Spontaneous Generosity. All right. So this kind of has a lot going on here, so rock with me, all right? Top notes: Assam black tea, summer flush fig, tonka bean up top. In the heart, Peru balsam, benzoin, and coumarin. In the base, cherry, sandalwood, and caramel. So it's a caramel, not a praline, but I was getting like that praline sweetness, kind of like in the Stronger With You Intense. That's kind of how it comes off of my skin. But it has a thick base to it. This is not a bright and airy style of a fragrance. It has a thick base to it. The sandalwood gives up that creamy effect. It does have a spiciness, resinous feel to it. Don't get a lot of the fig and a lot of the tea. Matter of fact, I get no tea. I can see where the fig is probably blending in with the tonka bean to kind of give it this unique powdery effect, and that's adding to the sweetness. All right, so I don't have anything that smells like this, but the note of cherry is very, very, very present, okay? So I do have cherry fragrances, obviously, but they don't smell like this. Again, sweet, gourmand, sexy, and unisex. For me, date night, date night, date night. A sexy situation, a cozy situation. This is what this will be used for, at least in my rotation, all right? So in my collection, excuse me. So as it continues to dry down, that cherry is still there. That tonka bean is kind of starting to really expand itself for the more powdery nature of this fragrance to come out for sure. That spiciness feel is still there too. Like this, like the sheen, I don't know if you can see well, I can't get it in camera, but the shine on my arm is present here, like it's popping off my skin, and that's a representation of the quality. Now this is an EDP concentration for sure, but you could just tell the difference, all right, with the quality. All right, so State of Mind, I'm going to be getting more into them, learning more about them, so I don't have much information about the house, but this is my first introduction to it, and I am interested in State of Mind. All right, don't take my word for it. All right, matter of fact, don't even listen to what I have to say. If you're curious and you're interested in the way I describe this fragrance, get you a sample, get your nose on it, and then of course make the judgment for yourself. But to my gourmand lovers, ladies, just in general, if you're looking for a unisex fragrance, male or female, this is one to look into. A very sexy, cozy, seductive feel to this fragrance for the cooler months, no doubt about it. All right, so I'm a fan. I'm excited to wear this. I haven't obviously worn this because it's not cool enough where I am, but it will be. And once it is, we'll see what's going on. So check this out over at Soul Avant Garde. They do have a host of other fragrances from the line, and like I said, I'm looking to get more into them. From the house of State of Mind, we have Spontaneous Generosity. Spontaneous Generosity. If we can get that in focus, come on now. Spontaneous, it just don't, there we go, Generosity. All right, so that's going to wrap up today's video. Again, head over to Soul Avant Garde if you're interested in these two fragrances. They are really, really good. I'm happy to have them. And if I didn't mention, the Nishane is extrait de parfum, so you know what you're getting there. Some big time performance and some big time quality. So Soul Avant Garde, DEDRICK 20, save you some money. Sample, unless you want to jump off the porch and then buy your full bottle. These can get a little bit pricey for sure with them not being discounted. So shop wisely, even though I am not your financial advisor, word to EQ. All right, so until next time, y'all be cool, y'all be safe, take care of yourselves, splack it up, splack it down, splack it that thing all around. All right, so remember, what you put out to this world is exactly what you get back. I think that's a fact, scientifically proven. All right, save some money. Don't forget the code, it's in the description. Save some money. Soul Avant Garde, check them out. They got a lot of stuff. All right, good stuff, great stuff. All right, y'all be cool.